Hello, everyone. Welcome to Idle Insights. I'm joined by Trevor. That's how I like to say his name. And also Luke McKay. And they've got a really cool comic that's been out. What is that comic, Trevor and Luke, that is now on the Idle Champions website and social media and all that stuff? Like, how did this come about?
Luke, you say what it is. You're the one that came with the name.
So kobolds are very cute characters, and everyone at C&D has loved having them in the game, and they thought, yeah, we could use some more kobolds. And I am not really sure who was the first to pitch the idea of having a kobold comic. Was that you, Trevor?
No, I think it was Dylan. I think Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan was the first, and then he handed it over to us, and then we ran with it. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, we just will do a bunch of the characters as kobolds to just, get them looking nice and cute and looking kind of fun and because kobolds are going to have the most fun adventures in the Far Realms. I was just kind of shooting ideas, and literally, I think I was just kind of making up logos. And I was like, Pack Antics, Pack Tactic from Pack Tactics. And I was like, yeah, that could work. That could work. And I think that was all of like a 5-minute approval.
Yeah, you said it out loud, and literally everyone went, yes, no further notes.
Yeah, and then I think I made like one sketch of the logo, didn't like it, then did a second one, drew that up, and it was like, boom, yeah, we got this, fine, let's do it.
Trevor, what have you enjoyed most about this comic series?
Oh, geez. I'm writing it, getting to work with Luke McKay. Like Luke was saying, the idea got put out there, and I literally did I volunteered to be tribute. Like when they were like, we need someone to write this, I'm like, yeah. I've wanted to write webcomics since I was in high school, and because I was reading webcomics drawn by Luke McKay, and so now, I'm getting to do that, and with Luke, and just getting to see. I really it's weird to say, but I have an idea in my head of what these look like, and then I give those scripts over to him, and he sends them back to me looking 1,000 times better than they looked in my head. And so I genuinely love the joy of getting to see these done in just a completely better way than I could have ever thought of them. But it's got my words in there.
What do you feel for both of you is the biggest challenge when doing a webcomic? You have so little real estate, and you have so much little visual representation of what's going on as well. Like, you have a limited amount of words and a limited amount of art. What are the challenges?
I definitely have an interesting challenge. So this comic is part of the marketing department from Codename Entertainment. It was really nice of them to kind of pitch the idea, do a comic, but of course we're going to put this on social media. It's not on a website of its own. It's going to be featured on social media. So we're dealing with the restrictions of Instagram and Twitter and those sorts of things, dealing with the parameters they gave us. And we're doing a comic that is a sequential comic. It's not just a single panel. If it's a single panel comic, you can just kind of adjust the borders a bit, and it fits with any social media. But when you're doing a sequential art, like panel to panel to panel, and move the flow of action, or the flow of action from one panel to the other, and then put it into social media, that is certainly a challenge, because you can't just display it on a page and just go splash on the internet. You got to work with Twitter, you got to work with Facebook, you got to work with all those social medias that have their own restrictions on what kind of images and setups you can use.
Mm-hmm. And how about for the writing?
Oh, it is definitely the constant, okay, I can't put too much in here because Luke still has to draw things. It can't be a whole panel of text. There's definitely been a few where I've said over, and Luke's just like, can we trim some words off of this? But I'm trying to because my writing comes from novel writing. Now, comic writing is always something that I had, off on the side that I tried to do here and there, but I'm used to writing novels, so I'm used to just word vomiting a bunch of stuff onto a page. And so trying to keep the word count down of dialogue, but knowing that I can throw description out there for him and he can take that and do with what he wants. But yeah, the actual dialogue of it, keeping it short and concise and still trying to keep the character's voice in there. I actually had a whole meeting with Aaron M. Evans, who does the dialogue cutscenes for the game, to be like, okay, how do these characters sound? what are things that I need to pay attention to keep it so that this sounds like Jarlaxle, this sounds like Celeste, this sounds like Minsk. And so trying to do those things in a short amount of words, so that, you know, Luke has area to do what he does.
So is there an ongoing story with this? Is this the same pact every time? For those that don't know, like, there's got to be, like, is there connective tissue from comic to comic?
Yes, I knew from the get-go that I wanted to do an ongoing story. We knew that we wanted to do a campaign, and we had talked about doing several different ones, but it kind of felt right to do Witchlight because that's the campaign that we currently have going on in the game. But at the same time, we didn't want it to be exactly the same as what's in the game, or exactly the same that's in the book that's behind Luke there. And so we knew that we wanted to have the same group of kobolds, and we knew that we wanted them to be the champions themselves turned into kobolds. And Luke came up with the idea of having Deacon cast seeming on them to change how they look into these kobold versions of themselves. And that first one that he did of Deacon casting the spell, such a brilliant idea, and it looked so good, and it got everyone immediately was like, yep, I need these kobolds, I love them. So yeah, in this one, the main plot of it is that Star, who is a familiar in Idle Champions and is in the adventure book itself, is gone missing, and their quest is to go into the Feywild, into Prismeer, and rescue her.
What's, like, art wise, because Luke, you and I have worked together before, like, well, what's fun about this comic? What's kind of challenging as well? Not just the format, but like, you're having to make a lot of art.
Oh yeah, get a lot of art. So yeah, we did a lot of fun sketches. Like, we spent a good couple days of just like kind of passing back some sketches back and forth of just like, how are we gonna make a lot of the Idle Champion characters into kobolds, like make them look their kobold look. And actually I've been having a lot of fun working with the rest of the art team, like making the skins and whatnot to kind of like get them into game as well too, which is that's also a fun part.
Wild.
Of what we're making in the comic is also going into the game, which is just, that's a kick. I had a nice little running start with this too, because when we started this comic, I was doing some of the backgrounds for Idle Champions, some of the background art, and it was all in Witchlight. So it was like I was going through that Witchlight book every day. So this thing just lives on my desk. So I'm constantly flipping through it. It's got a beautiful, just, it's full of beautiful art, and I'm just referencing it left, right, and center all day long. And especially this Witchlight has a really nice color palette too. Yeah. Just like the skies and the worlds that they presented are just a little bit different. Like, there's no like directly blue skies or directly green grass. Like, they're all just a little bit more blues or pinks or things like that. So it was a really nice visual way to kind of like jump out and stand out. When the comic first went up, I was like, oh, wow, this looks nice. This looks really different. This is a very different comic than you would see from, like, especially D&D comics, which generally get a little earth-toned and gritty. This was like bright and pink and blues and teals. And I was like, yeah, this will pop.
How long have you been making comics?
Oh, fair bit now. It was 2006. I was a nurse, and I was just doing some doodles online, and some friends of mine at Rooster Teeth in Austin, Texas, said, hey, you want to draw some comics? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I just have not stopped since.
What's the most surprising thing about what you've learned over the years of drawing comics? You've worked with lots of different people. You've done lots of different things. You have to have like a lot of insight into webcomics in general.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. Because I haven't taken any art in school. I was a nurse by trade. So when I was doing my first comics, I literally showed up and I was just working in MS Paint because that's all I knew at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, first day of the office at Rooster Teeth, I just opened the computer, started drawing. They're like, is that MS Paint? I'm like, yeah. Is there other programs? They're like, yeah, there are.
Luke, like, you're breaking my brain right now.
No, yeah, those first couple of Rooster Teeth comics were done with MS Paint.
Oh my gosh.
That's like, Trevor, you writing a novel on Notepad.
Yeah.
The program.
And really, to this day, like, even in the Pacantic comics, I'm still using a lot of the tools that are in MS Paint. Like, I still love the pencil tool, that hard pixel line, to just kind of draw that hard black line and then just drop in color, and then go from there. I still use a lot of the basics from that. But other than that, like it was one of those things like in any job I do, I like to learn more. And so I started like immediately getting tutorials, picking up books. I just filled up a bookshelf with like books of anything I could learn about art, especially like webcomics. I reached out to in Canada, I reached out to Blind Ferret, Ryan Somer and Lara de Sosa. They're good friends of mine, and they really kind of picked me up and helped me along too. Oh, and Penny Arcade, that was unbelievable. I think I had like 2 or 3 comics done for Rooster Teeth, and we went to the second Penny Arcade Expo, and I met up with Mike and Jerry, and they were just like, "Hey, come hang out with us for a couple of days and let me show how to use Photoshop." I'm like, I'm getting Mike Krolik to show me how to make webcomics, and like on my second day at the job,
What
it's like,
the heck?
That was just like, you don't get blessings too often like that. So that was just amazing that I got to meet a lot of other artists right off the bat, the first day, and they were just showing me all the tips and tricks right away.
That's fantastic.
That's
a wild ride.
What I love about that, Luke, though, is that like that's the feeling I have right now working with you. Is that like I wanted to do webcomic writing for so long, and your comics were the things that I read, and now I get to work with you, and it's really cool, and I like doing it.
Yeah, I had no English literature or writing skills at all, so it was just like one of those things where like, well, I guess I can just go pick up a book on like how do you write a script, how do you write a comic, and just like picked up books, went on tutorials, and I guess after just reading and trying, like I have piles of failure comics just stacked up. It's just try, fail, and eventually something will hit, I guess. Like
what Trevor, for you, like what specifically is exciting about this for you to do? Like this is because this is very new for you. You're going from very long form to the opposite.
Yeah. And that is honestly something that I really like. I enjoy trying to write in different formats. I've written comic scripts before just for fun. I've tried writing a film script just for fun. And because I like creative writing. Like that's the whole thing. If I get to be creative and writing at the same time, I'm enjoying it. And so getting to do this and actually getting feedback on, because I can write comic scripts all day and nobody's gonna read them. Like that's I have no artistic talent in any way, shape, or form. I did for like 1 month in 2010, and that was it. I have like one notebook where I'm like, hey, that actually looks pretty good, and that's it. And so yeah, getting to get actual feedback on it, to go to Luke and be like, is this even how the script should look? Does this work for you? And so actually being able to talk with people and bounce ideas off and see how these things get made, and the like going from sketch to inking to the final and everything like that, it has just been a joy every moment that I get to work on this.
That's fantastic. What is there anything that you're trying to accomplish? I don't want you to ruin like where the story is going, but like, yeah.
I do. We do have an ending for the Witchlight part. We do know what happens after that. I don't know. Keep liking and sharing the comic and buy the skins, and maybe we can do more with this.
It's got to be weird for both of you, like having that like directly affect the game as well.
Oh yeah. Full disclosure, the skins just came out, and it is wild to me to not only see like little Cobalt Minsk walking through there with his little purple skin, which I didn't think about until Luke started drawing. I'm like, that's brilliant. Why? But like you go into the game right now. I don't have it open. You go into the game right now and you click on the Spring Extravaganza thing, and there is a little Pack Antics thing with the logo and Yorvid and Minsk, and I lost it. I was just like, oh, that's a thing that Luke and I worked on that's in the game now.
How about for you, Luke?
Well, actually, I guess the end game I'm kind of looking for is, as I'm drawing these, one fun thing I'm having with Pack Antics is I'm drawing these at a really nice high resolution, so that I want to print these up big. So like at the end, like I already have all the printing equipment all set up here. Like when this comes up, whether they get out to the world or not, I'm at least printing up and binding my own book of this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Do you have either of you like advice for like other people that are looking into getting into web comics right now?
I think Trevor kind of already started to hit on it. Number one rule of comics and pretty much any creative media: don't do it alone. Really get help. Just even if someone's just standing there, like, hey, can I bounce an idea off you? Like, working by yourself can be very difficult. You'll end up wasting a lot of time just going like, maybe work with someone, just a friend, mom, dad, anyone, a cousin. Just go like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to take a look at my sketches? Or just like, yeah, just talk to someone. If you can have a team of 2 or more, that will greatly improve anything you're working on.
Writers and artists be friends.
Yeah,
because like Luke has the best advice I'd be here, because I am the exception and not the rule to how this happened. Yeah. I just unmuted myself in a meeting and yelled until they let me do it.
What do you think is the most important thing? Like, this is a general question about writing in general, but like, because you've been kind enough to look at stuff of mine, but like, what are some of the tropes that you just have to get past as a writer? I mean, this takes practice and practice and practice over and over again.
I mean, there's the thing that, you know, every time someone goes up and asks a question of an author, it's like, how can I be a better writer? And it's right. And I like, it sounds corny and it's overused, but it's 1,000% true. Like, it doesn't matter what you're writing, because people probably aren't going to read that stuff at the beginning. It's just working out that muscle, that writing muscle, to in order to one day do that marathon that is a book or a webcomic or a film script or anything. You can't just go from, you know, sitting there to running the marathon. You gotta get the practice in. You gotta try stuff out. You gotta see how you're going to pace yourself for these sort of things.
Yeah, and for myself, just like kind of gathering some experience. I hate to say it, especially for Pack Antics, playing Untitled Champions. Really just kind of going through the game and like see like how Aaron and other people have written, like seeing like their writing style, and definitely going through the art from the art department, seeing how the other teams have, like, how they've done their drawings and try and match up. Like, yeah, just go and play the game, play some Dungeons and Dragons, just get the vibe.
Why kobolds?
They're adorable.
I gotta say, yeah, kobolds since 5th edition have been amazing, and just there was something especially about with 5th edition with kobolds, just like, I think it was like just with Spurt maybe, where just it kicked off of like, oh, these aren't just little grubby little things, they're fun, they are fun characters. Like, people started role playing them just nonstop. I think there's like a trend going right now on TikTok of like someone saying, how do you voice your kobolds? And everyone's giving these beautiful, wonderful examples of just like, there's something about an empty vessel that just, it collects up all the best ideas. And kobolds seem to really be that, of like, oh, they're just this basic run-of-the-mill character, but you can throw so much onto them and adapt it to whoever you are. And like, it's just a nice character to play with.
Mm-hmm.
How about for you, Trevor?
I mean, yeah, they're just freaking adorable. I do think you're spot on with the Spurt thing. Like, I think that is definitely when a lot of people started being like, kobolds are cool. and yeah, like getting to, like, if we hadn't hit on kobolds from the first thing, I think even if we had gone through other creatures to polymorph them into, we would have landed on there, because seeing the concept sketches that Luke did for these, I mean, it just worked so well. It fit the personality of a kobold and the champion so well that you're getting the best of both worlds in it. Where I don't know, I mean, we haven't done it, but you know, if it was another creature, I don't know if that would have meshed as well.
Yeah, and just with Idle Champions and CNE, we put a lot of kobolds into the game. Like, Human was just perfect. Like, when Human came out, I did a bunch of comics for the marketing for Human, and just everyone loved him. It was just a fun character. Like,
they are definitely one of my favorite characters in the game.
The Spurt, and then the constant joke of 3 kobolds in a trench coat, and the fact that it's kept on popping up into 5th edition over and over again was charming.
I mean, heck, we did technically 6 kobolds and 2 trench coats in the first one.
Spurt, I'll never forget where I was when that Spurt thing happened. Because Chris came out, he sat down, and that voice came out, and I'm like, well, this is going to be a whole thing now. because no one knows what kobold sounds like. Everyone's probably got a goblin voice or dragonborn voice, but like I think you just kind of defined kobolds.
I actually had to have a kobold voice because my players decided to adopt one back in like 2012. And so they had this little kobold that they brought around with them, and I'm like, I guess I gotta know what he talks like now.
Yeah, how do you have to establish voice for each of these characters? Like, is that also a challenge?
Well,
like in the written form, not just like speaking.
In my head, they're just talking normal. Like I don't have like a kobold version of their voice in my head. But yeah, like I still want people to be able to read Minsk in here. I am Minsk the Mighty, and stuff like that. Like Yorvin is becoming one of my favorite characters to write because of this old murder buddy Batman thing he has going on.
And that's a Dylan Wilkes creation.
It is.
Yeah. It's such a good character too to play with. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, getting the voices of them in there is something that I'm constantly trying to do. And hopefully so far I've kept on that pretty well.
Well, yes, you have. What was how did this even, like, we kind of talked about like how did this happen, but like it just happened so suddenly.
It did. It really
did.
What's
the response been?
Well, first of how it started too, I gotta really applaud. C&E is an entertainment company, but they primarily make video games. But right off the bat, like Eric and a lot of the other staff have just said, we're here to make entertainment and make it fun. And like, so they just didn't rule anything else. So when a comic idea is presented, yeah, how about a sequential comic? They're like, well, yeah, isn't that entertainment? Isn't that the thing we do here? It's like, yes, it is. So I love how they just jump right on it because they just assume, yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it came on pretty quickly. I think it was just kind of a snowball thing of like an idea came up for a sequential comic, and I think that came up around the same time as the Isle Champions Presents that you were in, Todd, because y'all got turned into kobolds at one point. And I think that idea came about at the same time, and so it was just like, ooh, ongoing kobold comic. And yeah, that got brought up in a meeting towards the end of last year, and I shouted, like I said, until they gave it to me. And the beginning of this year, Luke and I were in a meeting pitching ideas, coming up with stuff, and it was one of those. It was really cool because it was one of those projects where there was very little like, I don't know if we should do this. Like it very much just flowed. Like as soon as we got in there with talking with other people and sharing ideas and bouncing stuff off of each other, we were just flowing with how everything was going to work and how the characters were going to look. And because that was really the most important thing for me. Because like while I'm writing, I do have I'm very visual. Like I'm seeing it in my head, so I needed to see what these creatures looked like. I needed to know what the kobold versions of them were so that I could play around with different things. And literally as I'm saying this, Luke is sharing his screen and just pulling up Photoshop and drawing like a little calliope with a giant lute and this short little figure next to, like, I think, did you put like Briggs legs or something like that, the cowboy boots and everything? Yeah. And so it was pretty much as soon as I got to see what he was thinking of with the characters, that was really when I was able to just dive in and start writing. And I think I definitely went a little overboard at the first point because we knew this was going to be weekly, but I was like, hey, here's the first 6 pages. And yeah, like, spoilers, what I'm gonna pull it up. What am I up to right now? Nope, I didn't have it open like I thought it did. I am up to page 20 right now, so I'm a little ahead. But it's stuff that I like doing. It's stuff that I like writing, and I'm loving getting to work with Luke on this. And so this is definitely a passion project for both of us, even if it is with, from a company. You can take that as you will, but like, they're all C&E is so very supportive of this. It feels just great to get to work on it.
And you have a healthy kobold obsession in the household of McKay as well. What's and when first off, when does it come out? What's the cadence the comic is?
Tuesday mornings.
Tuesday mornings.
Trying to keep it around 7, but sometimes things 7 Pacific. But sometimes things happen. But yeah, we shoot for a comic every Tuesday morning.
And is that hard for you?
That one's more to Luke. Yeah.
I'm like, how many times
you're on page
some out?
So you're working on page number 20, 21, you said?
20, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working on page 9. I got page 9 over here.
Perfect. All right. Thank you all for being on Idle Insights. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having us. This was great. Like this is definitely something that Luke and I've been wanting to talk about with people. So we're very, very happy to get to do that.
Awesome. Anything else before we go?
Anything you want to plug there, Luke?
Turn on Idle Champions. Check out the new Cobalt skins. There's some up now,
Yes.
and more will be coming. Much
Yeah.
more. Many we can get.
All
Yeah,
right,
definitely like and share those as much as you can, please, because that is how we do get more of these skins into the game and we get to do more of the comic. So thank you very much for everyone who already has. And if you haven't checked out Pack Antics, you can find all of them on our Discord in order in a channel that's specifically for them.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.